Hello, this is Tom, aka Jedio, here for Tabletop Gaming and the Star Frontiers Gamer. And today we have a product review. It's actually a traveler's product. However, I think this would actually make a decent Star Frontiers adventure. But let's just review the Traveler. It's a Cepheus engine adventure, aka Traveler. It's by Joseph Mower. Um, It's a 19-page PDF. Pay what you want on Drivethru. I'll put a link in the show notes, so you can get it for free, or throw the dog a bone. Throw $1 on there, $2, $3, something. It's actually a pretty decent little adventure idea. I think you could run this in just one session, and the crux of it is that you've got this cult that has sprung up in the traveler setting, and it's called The Path. Hence, the name of the PDF is The Path of the Shining Sky. He really doesn't go into any details about their religious beliefs, other than when somebody becomes a true believer, they give all their worldly credits to the church, and they wear robes at starports and space stations and hand out literature. And after some persecution, the Path decided that they had to go out and colonize, and maybe even proselytize aliens if they had to. But so they're funding and sending out colonization expeditions. And something goes wrong with this colonization expedition. It's not come back. It's not been heard from. And the parents of a new convert, who are very concerned about him, want to hire the travelers to go out and locate their son and bring him back safe if possible. So there's one promised fee, but if you bring him back alive and well, there's like a little add-on reward. So it's a great little setup. There are complications. In fact, when there's a list of complications here. It's a good D8 table. Just roll a D8. Maybe even roll a couple of D8s and add on some complications, or DM Fiat. Dungeon Master Fiat. Pick a couple that you like. And there's problems with the planet. There's problems with the ship, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a great little adventure. You've got add-ons to it to complicate the adventure, like the adventure's going too fast, so let's throw in a little extra wrinkle, like there's a bounty hunter that's looking for a criminal that converted to the Path to escape a murder charge. And so he's hiding out in the Path, and he's become one of the, and so he's in cold sleep. He's one of the cold sleep colonists on the ship. So this bounty hunter wants to show up and recover his bounty. There is a mercenary team that's been detailed. The crew members are detailed. The passengers who are awake are detailed, with the exception of the passenger in cold sleep that is the player character's mission, the son of the patrons who hired them, and the criminal that's being sought by the bounty hunter. Those are the only two passengers in cold sleep that are actually detailed for you, which I kind of feel like they should have, created a table of colonists. And I get it. It wasn't important, and some of those cold sleep births are having a problem. People are dying in them. And so there's a random chance that the person who the player characters are seeking is he has either died because his birth has failed, or it's failing and they've got to get him out. And again, those are random chances. So this adventure, with all of these extra things, including the mercenary team, which was a little add-on. It falls under other interested parties. They detail the whole mercenary team. This shows up, and they want something specific, like they don't want this ship to come back. They have a reason, so on and so forth. So I think it's a very playable adventure, and it can be played multiple times because the complications that you work into it really change up the adventure. So 19 pages, 3 of them are the game license. But scrolling down to the very end, oh, so here's the map. It is a very horizontal deck plan, very traveler-ish, hand drawn it looks. And then here is the artwork for the ship. Now, a couple of comments. My first reaction to this was when you have uh, your first reaction to something, I immediately thought Spaceballs and the RV. It just reminded me of the RV from Spaceballs. So I really like this artwork. I mean, the artwork's cool. It's very eye catching. It's very vibrant. But I really like it because it's a very a plausible sci-fi ship that somehow reminds me of the Spaceballs RV, which is kind of silly. So I love it for that reason. And I don't know why they didn't use this for the cover artwork. This, in my mind, is far better cover artwork, and it's wasted buried deep in the last page of the PDF. But I suppose they wanted this artwork for the cover because it shows a planet, and the crux of the matter is that the colonization ship has suffered a collision in space, and it is now, the engines are dead. It's in an orbit over a planet, and the orbit's decaying, and everybody will die unless they're taken off the ship, that sort of thing. So I think they might have wanted this artwork, but the other one to me was just much more eye-catching. And so that's my review. I'm gonna say on the strength of it, I would give it 3 draw the sight thumbs up. It's not quite as thorough as I would want it, but it's a very playable, and it's a very repeat playable scenario. Something you could play again and again. And it would be different, and the same players could play in it. And even though they've played in it previously, different complications will change the game up completely. And I really like that about it. Now, I'm going to make some suggestions on how to play this as a Star Frontiers adventure, because that's what this channel is all about. So I'm giving it a 3 draw the sight thumbs up. I mean, the price is hard to beat. It's pay what you want. I do suggest, throwing Joseph Mower, throw the dog a bone, put a couple bucks on there. The suggested price is $3 on Drivethru. Again, the link. But my suggestions now for using this as a Star Frontiers adventure. Number one, this whole Path of the Shining Sky. This resonates with Star Frontiers because what do we have in Star Frontiers? We have that whole category of cults, cadres, and criminal organizations right out of one of the Dragon magazine articles, and then revisited again in Zebulon's Guide. So this resonates. I mean, this cult, you put it as written, put it right in Star Frontiers, no problem. It kind of reminds me of a real world religion that sometimes gets classified as a cult. I'm not going to specify which, and you might not even catch that. I just because I happen to have studied at a seminary, I kind of got that right away, what they were kind of riffing on a little bit. But they don't do any of the cult's religious views. You just have some practices. The whole giving of all your money, not unusual with cults. Wearing flowing robes, not unusual with cults. Passing out literature, not all that unusual. This all works, and I love the idea that they're going out. You can put this in any sci-fi, that they're going out to explore the unknown. They're seeking. It's like that Star Trek episode where the space hippies showed up and they were on their way to Eden. I don't know, from the original Star Trek, and they call, what was it? They called Kirk. They called him Herbert or something like that. They had some name, and he was like, "What?" And Spock's like, "Oh yeah, it was this guy." Blah blah blah. It's you kind of have that vibe of that Star Trek episode, and I like that. So the cult works. The patrons that they've set up. The patrons are Sir Peng Weber and his wife, Lady Olivia Weber. Well, right away that intersects with the Star Frontier setting. Make these two nobles, part of the nobility on Clarion, which is a monarchy. And so I would, you totally write them in. They're concerned about their son. You could change it to their daughter if you want. The complications are kind of cool. We don't need to go into all of those, other than I do want to talk about specifically the ship. Now, the ship is horizontal decking. So what do we do with that? Well, the Nighthawk's freighters. I would just use the Nighthawk's freighter. This is from Warriors of White Light module. That's the Nighthawks module -0, the bundled module that comes with the Nighthawks rules. And I would use the large freighter for this. And because there are secret doors on the Perseus in this path adventure, and hidden compartments, I would actually just hand wave in one more deck. So here you see these images of the decks. I would do a second copy of this lower bridge underneath the lower bridge. This is the secret deck. There are clues that it's there, but the elevator just bypasses it. You got to punch in the code. Player characters could find this, and if they don't, it's not that big a deal. But I would just use this to incorporate because, again, Traveler is horizontal decks, and Star Frontiers is vertical decks with simulated gravity, no artificial gravity. So I would just do a duplicate of this particular lower deck I feel works, and you can, this would be the area that the path leaders have that they're doing stuff. You can work that in. And so, maybe they have secret information on here that leads that mercenary team, that's one of the complications, to come looking to, they want to get the secret information, the MacGuffin, whatever it is, and it's hidden on this deck. So they'll start to rip the ship apart. Player characters in their way will be dealt with extreme prejudice, as the saying goes. So that's what I would do with the ship. And jumping back to the path, they have one of the complications is as you move about the ship, they have random encounters on board, but they also specify in some of the rooms that this is the bridge. The captain will be here on a roll of. But then he's got captain's quarters. And so if they enter the captain's quarters and he wasn't on the bridge, then he'll be in the captain's quarters on a roll of. I kind of like that. It really makes things random. You don't know what's going to happen, what's going to be where. So I really like that. And obviously, you would convert some of these human crew members to being Dralocytes, Usarians, and Versk. And but they have a reaction table for reactions by as you encounter NPCs. But then you get down here to this bounty hunter. Now, the bounty hunter is looking for this passenger named Jacob Diaz. And he's bad because he's the rogue Jacob Diaz. I would make this bounty hunter a Yazarian. Grouchy, no nonsense, just go in hard hitting, and you get in his way, you're gonna get kissed with it. Hard hitting. And one of the things I would do is, because a bounty hunter does not want to end up wanted by Star Law, is I would have him go in with subdual weapons. There's a lot of great subdual weapons, but what I would do is I would go to issue 18 of Frontier Explorer and grab the disc grenade bandolier. It's detailed in here, and then there's a write-up of disc grenades. I would have this bounty hunter armed to the teeth with a lot of Tangler disc grenades. And, and so he's just using them, and he's got maybe some sort of stunning weapon of some sort. to incapacitate people. But if you go at him with lethal weapons, he's more than able to pull out a laser and start blasting away at high SEU. He's not looking to hurt people. He's just looking to get his bounty and get out. And that's all he cares about. But I would also give him a backup. I feel like he needs a backup. So a combat robot would be ideal because robots have a high chance to hit. So if the robot's armed with, say, a grenade rifle and Tangler, grenades for the grenade rifle, he's hitting at those high, and he's forcing those dexterity or reaction speed saves. I think it's a reaction speed save to avoid being entangled. He's rolling fairly high. It's just the nature of the beast with Star Frontier's robotics, because it's 30%. It's 30 plus 10% per level of the robot. So combat robots tend to be higher level. So I mean, we're talking like as high as 80% chance to hit, but we're with a 50 to 80%. It's a high percentage. So I would definitely back him up with a combat robot and maybe a backup character on his ship. That's his backup. And so and give him a small ship or runabout that he uses. And so that's what I would do with but definitely make him a Yazarian. Give him those disc grenades, and he's flinging the disc grenades, and but make them Tangler grenades, and so they're incapacitating of player characters, because he's just not looking to get in trouble with the law. So these are some of the modifications. One of the things about this ship is that it has a shuttle and some pinnaces. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Somebody's going to correct me, I'm sure. Now the pinnaces are a smaller transport ship. One is missing. We don't really have this in Star Frontiers, but what I would use is right here in Frontier Explorer number 18. And where'd you go? Romulus and Remus shuttle. This was a little write-up, small little deck plan. This is not so much a cargo shuttle. It's a shuttle for just transporting people to the surface and back. One of them's already missing. There's still one on the ship. I would use this mostly because I created it, and I did the deck plan in Campaign Cartographer, and I happen to like it. So this is what I would use for that. And then I'd probably equip the ship with a shuttle, regular cargo shuttle, bringing down cargo for establishing the colony. And then one last thing I would add. This is the Deck Plans project at starfrontiers.us project. And I would look up the Corsair container, because it's just like a cargo container that attaches to that Nighthawk's boom. And this is designed to be a impromptu field expedient shuttle bay. The Corsair was a fighter, so this is turning just a regular old humble freighter into a aircraft carrier, assault carrier. And so I would just use one of these to support the flight ops for the colonization mission. It's ideal for attaching to those freighters. And you can find this with all the, here we go. Oh, this image is broken. Oh my goodness. What's going on? There we go. Cargo hold 3, fighter bay 1. And so these images are here on the starfrontiers.us. I would use this, this was to support their flight ops for the colonization mission. So there you have it, the path. When it popped up on Facebook, I tried to put a little cheeky comment in there of, this is the way, after the Mandalorian. and we do have a bounty hunter going on here, so maybe a little short, mentalist, mentalist psionic powered sidekick for the bounty hunter might be a cool thing. And that Mandalorian armor, I would the polyplate, full polyplate armor that was in the Alpha Dawn digitally remastered rules would be a good thing. If you can track those rules down, the polyplate armor in there would be a good analog. Not quite matches everything in the Mandalorian, but bounty hunter with that and a lot of tangler grenades to incapacitate people, I think would be a great addition to the story. So, and I love this artwork. It feels like that RV from Spaceballs, of all things. So, I think this is an excellent traveler adventure, but I think it would make an even better Star Frontiers adventure. So check it out. The link is down below. Throw dog a bone for the writer of this. He's providing it for free. You can grab it for free, but throw a little bone on there for the writer. And I just love this artwork. It is the only artwork in there besides the map. So I just feel like this is great, and this should have been the cover. So this is Tom from Tabletop Tap Room and Star Frontiers Gamer, and I want to thank you for watching the video. Thanks to my subscribers. You guys are great. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the bell icon and the subscribe button, and help us build the channel a little bit. And I will see you in the frontier.